I recently discovered this video in which Godlogic, the popular Christian apologist, asks a Muslim about Allah being a father in any sense of the word.
We were talking about Jesus in Islam and how you guys say that Jesus is a Muslim.
Yes.
And so, I just don't understand how Jesus can be a Muslim.
Islam means submission. Anyone who submits his will to the will of God is a Muslim.
Okay.
Yes? So, for example, when Jesus said, let it be not my will, but yours. Yeah?
Whose?
Yeah, Jesus said to the Father,
To the Father.
let it be not my will, but yours.
Gotcha.
So from this is a total submission
Yeah.
to the will of the Father. Am I right? And that's why, if that true story, that story is true, that means that's one of the things that shows anyone who submits his will willingly to the will of God is a Muslim.
So you said being a Muslim means one who submits their will to God, right? So now I'm gonna ask you this question. Is Allah a father in any sense?
Is Allah the Father in any sense?
Yes.
Now, the issue is the misinterpretation of the Old Testament.
Is he a father in any sense, my friend?
The misinterpretation for the New Testament, addressing God, the creator of Jesus, the creator of the heavens.
Is he a father? That's all I want to know.
I'm done. Either you answer, you take my answer as it is.
It's not an answer though.
That's up to you. Right? I'm not,
Yeah.
do you think I have to please you in my answer?
Well, no, I was hoping that
Do you think-
I was hoping you could give an honest answer
Do you
though.
think-
I'm going to be honest. That was a poor show by the Muslim. This is what happens when people who are not well versed with the Bible get into debates with Christians, especially professional apologists like Godlogic. Anyway, in the video, Godlogic's argument is as follows. Jesus calls God Father. Muslims are forbidden from calling Allah Father. Therefore, Allah is not the God of Jesus. To a casual onlooker, this argument comes across as brilliant. However, in reality, it is just a cleverly packaged assertion and ignores the nuances surrounding the term Father. Had I been there, I would have asked Godlogic a simple question. Is God the literal father of Jesus? Or is he a father only in a metaphorical sense? His answer would have changed the course of the discussion. Because in John chapter 20 verse 17, Jesus states that his God and Father is also the God and Father of his followers. If God is the literal father of Jesus, as Godlogic believes, then he must accept that God is his literal father as well, which would be blasphemous. If not, the direct implication is that God is not the literal father of Jesus. Additionally, others before Jesus have also called God Father. There are also instances where God refers to himself as a father to people other than Jesus. No Christian would read these verses and conclude that God is the literal father of the aforementioned groups and individuals. The same applies to verses about God being the father of Jesus. If father is metaphorical for everyone else, the same applies to Jesus. If it's literal for Jesus, the same applies to everyone else. Yet Christians take the word father literally only when it helps their doctrine, and metaphorically when it creates problems for them. Christians might interject saying, but in Islam, God is not a father in any sense. To them I say, so what? In the Bible, God is called a father. In the same way he is called a husband. It is purely metaphorical. It's an expression of his closeness to his people. It means nothing. I don't see you calling God your husband. So why are you guys fixated on the metaphorical title, Father? Now let us move on to another related topic. The Christian idea that their relationship with God is that of a loving father and his children. This stands in stark contrast to Islam, which not only denies the divine sonship of Jesus, but also teaches that the relationship between God and his people is that of a master and his servants. Because of these fundamental differences, Christians argue that Allah is not the same as the God of the Bible. In this connection, it needs to be noted that although the Bible sometimes addresses the righteous as God's children, the term servant is used more often. It is more fitting and reflects the true nature of their relationship with God. Unlike terms like sons of God, which are metaphorical and can easily be misunderstood, the term servant preserves the distinction between the Creator and his creation. This is why throughout the Bible, those closest to God are consistently referred to as his servants, as we will now see, God willing. The prophets who heard from God are called God's servants. God addresses many important figures as his servants. This includes Moses, who God spoke to directly. Even Abraham, who God regarded as a friend, is called a servant of God. Many righteous people called themselves God's servants. The Israelites are addressed as servants of God. Believe it or not, even Jesus is referred to as a servant of God by Peter. And then there's Isaiah chapter 53, the prophecy of the suffering servant, who Christians identify as Jesus. Thus, like the Quran, the Bible also teaches that the relationship between God and mankind is that of a master and his servants. Now, let us pause to ponder. If the most righteous people in the Bible are the servants of God, what kind of delusion leads Christians to think they are God's sons and daughters? The Quran has a verse for those who call themselves the children of God. But the Jews and the Christians say, "We are the children of Allah and His beloved." Say, then why does He punish you for your sins? No, you are but human beings among those He has created. Indeed, humans are the creations of God, not His children. This is clear even in the Bible. When God created man, He did not say, "Let us make children." Instead, He said, "Let us make man." This is the language of a creator, not a father. Thinking of God as a father can easily lead to assuming that we are His children. Even if meant as a metaphor, it still amounts to arrogantly thinking too much about our own status. It also suggests that we are specially entitled to His bounties, or worse, that He bears an obligation to favor us. Such a notion is arrogant and has no basis in the scriptures.